Hi, Barney. Good morning. This is Scott with Second and 01 Canine Life Coaching. Merry Christmas. I want to discuss something with you. I don't think we have really fearful dogs. I think we have dogs that have fearful responses because that's what gets their emotional needs met. The reason why I say that is the emotional systems, according to Jock Panskip, Dan Siegel, Robert Sapolsky, and many others, say you have an evolutionary order of these emotional systems. What is that order? Seeking, number 1. 2, rage. 3, fear. 4 is care, panic, grief, play, and then lust. Barney, I see it. Thank you. Good boy. Good, leave it. So when your dog is showing you responses of what they're doing, it's probably more of a panic, especially if they're being prosocial. Because if you really look at it, where are the social ones at? Even though they may seem negative, like grief may seem negative, what they actually did is, you hear panic distress studies, right? Panic distress is, how does that animal get their needs met when they're in a panic situation? And that starts when they're babies. Epigenetics. Nutrition, all that stuff comes into play as well. Genetics from the grandparents to the parents to the baby. Beyond that, yeah, we're going to have German Shepherds, we're going to have Rottweilers, we're going to have different races and all that stuff in different species. But yet, some dogs will be closer to fear responses based on how you meet their needs. If the dogs respond and here's something else I'm going to discuss, behaviors that we see, fight or flight. Fight, that's a rage response. The brain, even though everything's overlapping, is more into the rage system. Rage is second on the evolutionary scale, so we just passed a whole bunch. We just dropped through a whole bunch. When your dog is more fearful, they're going to flight. They're going to back away and move away and try and hide out. If they're in a panic, Hunter, Barney, thank you. If they're more in a panic, that means they're still seeking, which means it's still prosocial. Meaning they're not going to look for you, per se, because that's not a natural dog body language. They're not going to look at you, excuse me. But they will look for you. They will back up. They will ear twitch towards you. They will slow down on the leash. They want to stay closer. Oh, Hunter. They might bark and whine for you. If they do that, they're still being prosocial. When you start getting into the ones that are not prosocial is when you really start having a more of an immediate emotional response. So again, I don't believe we have that many fearful dogs. I do believe we have a lot of fearful dogs, don't get me wrong, and I see them constantly. But I think if we answered it more of a, looked at a panic grief system, which is still a prosocial behavior, negative but prosocial, a negative emotional system but prosocial in behaviors, we can solve a lot of these problems by using care, because what comes after grief or before grief? Care. Once you start caring for something, you're still being prosocial, releasing oxytocin. That's what helps you survive and helps you want to stay in a prosocial. And then after that, what's going to happen? You're going to go into a play behaviors. You're going to get your play emotional systems. That's your, once they start feeling better, they're going to de-stress. When they go to de-stress, they're going to do behaviors that look like they mean nothing or they have no purpose. And they usually do that, and they will be more prosocial with you. You can go and join them then, because now their emotional needs have gotten met. Now, Barney. And then they'll start doing things like, well, you can't see, but Barney is actually doing things because his emotional needs are not being met. He's going to do things to get into trouble to get his needs met. Thank you, Wiley. Can I have it? Okay, last one, Wiley. So if your dog is barking and constantly looking for outside influences to help make decisions or to get your attention, they are learning through what emotional systems they have to get your attention at. Dogs have a cognitive function. They do have a cognitive ability. They can think about how they're going to get their needs met. That's the seeking system. That's the seeking system trying to find a way to survive in a stressful situation. And I don't just mean survival as in life or death. I mean, what's going to keep me in a better mood? They want to stay in the better mood. Every trainer will tell you this. You have to understand that being calm is not always going to be the answer. You being calm and attending to their emotional needs Who wants to cuddle? Thank you. When you help them want to meet their emotional needs, like you'll see when Hunter, when he wants to do is, he wants to go play. Once their needs are met, they're more social. So let's look at most of our fearful dogs and think if maybe they're in a panic or distress system, because as babies, as puppies, that's what they've learned to do to get their needs met. I need water, I cry out. I need warmth, I cry out. I come over and cuddle. I do all these things to get your attention so you'll meet my needs. They don't have to live in a fear society in the beginning. But it's there and it can drop down to that. Thank you. So this is Scott with Second and No One Canine Life Coach. Just want to make a quick video, not doing examples or anything, but just saying, let's look at fear responses versus panic responses. We've got a lot of studies on panic, distress. We've got a lot of studies on fear. Seriously, last one. But we don't have a lot of answers on how we're supposed to do that. We have training techniques. Every training technique will work because a dog finds a relationship because you met their emotional needs. Why do you think? I'm not going to get into that one right now. But this is Scott with Second and No One Canine Life Coaching. Talk about the evolution in the brain of every mammal in the world. And crocodiles. And we're starting to find out with some fish. Panic distress is real. And it's a way the dogs get their needs to stay prosocial. If they're not being prosocial, then you're into a fear or a rage system. This is Scott with Second and No One Canine Life Coaching. Merry Christmas and have a great day.